Welcome back to Adventures with Bam. I'm Brent Billings.
And I'm Maggie Billings.
And this episode takes us to Lakeside, Montana, and the Pole Bridge area of Glacier National Park.
A lovely time, lovely places.
Pole Bridge was wonderful. It's on the west side, kind of up north. And never been there before.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the park situation. There's like a little playground field area with just tons of stuff for kids to, play with and mess around with. And Darius was introduced to badminton.
Yes, true.
It's great. We had a little badminton time.
We do need a backup, though, because we have the blog post that is going along with this episode, and the photos are going to be all out of order if we start talking about Pole Bridge too much. So, Lakeside, Montana, we have some friends at 100 Fold Studio. Always great to get to visit with them. Mm-hmm. So I got to meet the students as they were on their last day of the Summer Studio 2024 and got to meet a few more of their staff who I hadn't met in the past. And then we had some lunch at a nice little park/beach, I guess.
The boys and I played at the lake and played in the water while you had your little meeting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before lunch.
Little meeting, indeed. Torin, again, objected to taking a photo with us. But, when the photographer's on their feet, Esther in the last one and John in this case, Torin's just off to the side. So we've been able to get Torin in the photo, just not really with us.
That way, when he's older, if he ever struggles with feeling like, well, how come I'm not in any of these photos? We can be like, we tried.
Yeah.
Look at these, Torin.
This is what you
This
did.
is you rejecting us, not the other way around. We tried.
He's smiling over there in the corner. It's great.
That's good. Yeah, you might be able to
kind
crop
of a little
those.
smirk.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
Yeah, John actually recommended the way this photo is set up. Like one of those ones where you fold it at a particular point and then like Torin is all of a sudden right next to us where he's supposed to be.
That's what we need to do.
I mean it,
it could work.
Yeah, I think it would pretty much work. Yeah. So I'm on board with that plan.
That'll be the one we send to grandparents.
And then that afternoon we went to a nature roller coaster. What do they call it? Alpine roller coaster. That's right.
Which doesn't mean what I thought it meant. I thought it meant like a wooden roller coaster.
Oh.
I was like, why do they call it that? I've been on wooden roller coasters before. They just call them wooden. No, it's because it's in an alpine environment.
You're track, like,
among the trees.
Yeah, there's an actual track, but it's like more or less on the ground, and the landscape is sort of the, the thing.
And it's one car, it's not a big line of people. You're in your own vehicle and you control the speed. You've got handles that you pull all the way back if you want to go full speed. I think this goes up to 27 miles per hour. It's the fastest that this one went.
You push it all the way forward to go full speed.
No, you pull it back.
Pull back is brake.
I would argue. I think you should fact check.
I'm looking at the picture and the arrow pointing backwards and it says stop. Because it's easier to pull back. Like your instinct when you need to stop when something's going on is to pull your arms like into yourself.
Okay. You win this time.
The guy giving the instructions would be disappointed that you forgot what he told you.
I knew it when I needed to know it. I knew it in the moment.
So you took Darius.
I took Darius.
And I took Torin.
Both of their first roller coasters.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't sure. I was more confident about Darius. Still a little unsure because he'd never done anything like that before. And sometimes he's like, "Ooh, yeah, I want to do this." And then when he's in it, he's like, "I don't want to do this." His first fair ride was when he was like, I think he had just turned 3. And it was just one of those little it's in a truck and it goes in a circle. And he was so excited. Just didn't want to do anything else. And I have pictures. I might have a video actually of his, I was taking like pictures and videos as he went by. As it started going, he was all smiles. And then when he came back around, he was crying.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I wasn't sure about this. He did great. He did really well. He a couple times was like, I don't know. And I was like, we're doing great, buddy. You're safe. And he did well. But yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised to hear that Torrin didn't cry at any point.
No, well, yeah. He was super excited right when we start. Actually, pretty decent picture of him.
Mm-hmm. Just tall enough to ride, too.
Just, yeah, I mean, barely. Like millimeters
Yeah.
away from being too short.
It's also interesting. They didn't check. They just like put the measuring stick outside, and then it's like on the honor system, you tell them, you're like, yeah, my kid's tall enough, and nobody's checking.
I mean, I think if he got in the car and they looked at him, they're like, this seatbelt's not going to hold him in. You can't do this.
Sure.
Let's double check.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was super excited. And then, we went a little faster, and then he was not so excited. But then, I slowed down and he got into it again. And then I sped back up and he was upset again. So I was like trying to figure out the right speed for him.
Sure.
But, as long as we weren't going too fast at any given moment, he was having a great time.
Really the perfect setup for a kid's first roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're not subjecting them to like, you're going to sit in this car and we're going to go 60 miles an hour, whether you like it or not. Like you can kind of adjust. And yeah, it's pretty ideal, really. Full marks.
So then Polbridge, great little town, little mercantile situation. The park, as you mentioned before, with badminton. I mean, it was like a volleyball net setup, but there happened a couple of badminton rackets there, and so Darius was playing around with that. And it's kind of a stormy day, just a little bit. Yeah, I guess it was raining while we were there, but then we drove out to
Bowman Lake.
Bowman Lake. Thank you for remembering that part.
I had to look it up the other day.
Dirt road, 6 miles out. Tiny little like narrow road winding around, but then you get to this lake and you basically drive right up to it, and there's almost nobody there, like just a few dozen people. And even when we first like got out there was almost nobody in the water, so the water was really still. Just a wonderful little spot.
It was beautiful. Yeah, I kept thinking it looks like a painting. Like it was, the reflection was gorgeous. The mountains are beautiful. It was a little hazy that day, but not too bad. And I think after the rain, that cleared up a little bit of the smoke.
Definitely a little bit of haze going on, but not too bad. And the boys had a great time throwing rocks backwards over their heads
Darius
into the
skipped
water.
Rocks a couple times.
Yeah, Darius was learning to skip. Yeah. Yeah. And then on the way out, we saw a ram in the road.
A bighorn sheep.
This was south of Polbridge, quite a ways, several miles. And it was actually dirt road most of the way out there as well. Like there were a few areas that were paved, but it was mostly dirt. And this section, like we come around this corner and it's just in the road. And I was like, what? So I'm stopping the car. I'm putting on the flashers. I'm trying to grab my camera. I'm doing all this stuff. And then it's just looking at us. And then these 3 cars come around behind us and go to pass me. And then it runs up the hillside, like right as I'm getting out to take photos.
Of course.
My first shot is of it kind of like running up the mountain. It's all blurry and stuff.
Yeah, pretty
Super
wild,
annoying,
though, to see those down.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then it like stopped behind this tree and I could barely see the thing. Like I never would have spotted it if I hadn't seen it move into that position. I was like, oh man. I was like, please turn around. And he just like turned his head right around and just stared at me. And I got this great shot.
He heard your plea.
Pretty far away, but great shot.
Yeah, we were looking for bears and we didn't get any that day, but we got a deer. Remember, we saw deer right as we pulled up to the lake.
Deer in the right as we pulled up to the lake, and then another one in basically the same spot. Like it's almost like they've got a deer like on one of those little like model railroad tracks, and it's just going around in a circle because it was in the exact same spot.
I mean, we all have our favorite spots,
I guess.
Why can't deer? Yeah, no bears, but other creatures that day.
Yeah, good couple days. Lots of new experiences in many regards.
Yeah, Polbridge is known for its old mercantile and their bear claws. Mercantile was cool. We didn't buy a bear claw because we had one that a friend had grabbed a day or two before, but we forgot to eat it until like 3 days later. And I believe with all my heart that it would have been much better fresh. So I can't confidently say, oh yeah, like I'm sure they probably are amazing. And we were dinking around and forgot to eat it when it was fresh.
Yeah.
But we had, what did you guys have? You had cookies, you and the boys did. I had a huckleberry brownie that was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I had pretty low expectations for that, and it was wonderful. So, yeah, go to Polbridge, check out that little situation. It's really small. There's not a whole lot going on, but it's fun. There's a little restaurant, too. So
There are some cabins there. You can stay in Polbridge.
yeah, if you really plan. It's
I mean,
not like a last minute kind of.
It could be last minute.
Hmm.
We got several last minute things on this trip.
Yeah, Polbridge wasn't one of them, though.
Yeah, but
I think if you want to stay
What-
in a cabin in Polbridge, absolutely do it. But you got to plan ahead for that.
you don't necessarily. Like, it's
You
always
might
worth
get
checking.
lucky.
It's
Yeah,
always worth
check.
checking.
Always check. But
We checked.
yeah, we checked.
Didn't get it in that one. But we got the other two places that we booked last minute.
Go to Polbridge, get some baked goods, hang out there. It's not, I wouldn't call it a full day destination, but cool to hang out for a couple hours probably.
So there's another lake. There's like Kiltna Lake or something like that, which is a 14-mile. I assume it's a dirt road, the same as Bowman Lake. But you could go to one lake and then come back around and hit the other one on the way out.
Mm,
So I think you could do more of a full day if you wanted to.
but not in Polbridge.
Oh yeah, not in Polbridge, no.
But definitely worth
But in
checking
that
out.
part of the park, yeah.
Sure.
And it is another one of the parts of Glacier where you have to have vehicle reservation to get in from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that part's annoying.
Yeah.
But because we were only going to the one lake, I think we went in. And the other thing is like, it's a much slower, simpler part of the park.
Yeah.
There's no like big scramble or rush. Like nobody's.
No tour buses.
Yeah. Like it was just,
At least when we
it
were
was
there.
so nice. It was so nice. And it's not like there was nobody there,
Mhm.
but the people who were there were just, everybody was relaxed. Like it was just a calm experience all around.
Yeah, I feel like generally when we're doing, your typical West Glacier going to the Sun Road, it's kind of this, like everyone has somewhere to be. People are.
It's like a demolition derby at 3 p.m. when you don't have to have the vehicle
But
reservation
even-
to get in. Like there's just so many cars everywhere. And
Even before that, though, when you're, let's say it's 11 a.m.
in the morning,
Yeah,
trying to find
everyone's
parking spots at places like it's
people
all
are
a
getting out
nightmare.
for hikes and they're getting out, like everyone's trying to get the best shot. Like and it's not a stressful environment. It's not like that at all. But Polbridge does just have a more chill vibe. It felt like everyone was there just hanging out and relaxing. Nobody was trying to rush to the next thing. It was great.
'Twas great indeed. A good couple of days in Montana.
Yep, no regrets.